Alexa, turn on all games.
Nick Angel lives in Georgetown, and his basement is a gamer's paradise. Like most, his interests started young and local.
There was a couple of arcades in Georgetown back in the 80s, I remember, that a lot of them were pool halls that had large arcades in them. When you're heading into town, there's, I think it's a Canine Pet store with a dentist office above it, right at Mill Street and Guelph Street there. That was an arcade and a pool hall, I remember when I was in high school in the 80s. And those days were crazy, as I'm sure a lot of people my age would remember. Never had enough money to play the games. We were always scrounging for quarters, returning empties, whatever I could think of to raise cash. I would steal money from my mom. Sorry, Mom.
Video games were his love back then, and he started collecting them. But eventually, he bought a pinball machine. And that's where the trouble and his passion for them began.
When I had bought that first pinball machine, I was already collecting these arcade games, and I had a whole basement full. And then I wanted to try a pinball machine, and it's been downhill ever since. I love working on them. I love fixing them. I love tweaking them, especially pinballs. I love doing things to the mechanicals to make them play better, maybe even better than they were from the factory. Just bringing a machine back from the dead is a great sense of accomplishment.
Angel's accomplishments have led to a steady stream of pinball repair jobs. His clients largely come from Southern Ontario, but even sometimes from the US. He says fixing the machines these days is pretty easy, but it wasn't always that way.
Well, if you open up a modern pinball machine and lift up the playfield, it's intimidating. It's all a mass of wiring and solenoids and circuit boards and blinky lights. So I was a little bit intimidated compared to the arcade games, but if you have the patience and the ability to do research online, that's all you need.
One of the funnest things about pinball are the different themes they come in, but a new Jaws game or even Godzilla might cost between $10,000 to $20,000. Older machines, though, can run about $2,500, so that's where Angel says collectors should start. He says that most machines have retro themes to cater to an older demographic, but he'd like to see that aspect of gaming change.
They tend not to make too many, unfortunately, on newer pop culture phenomena, or I wish we would see more of that, actually, based on newer rock bands, or a Justin Bieber pinball machine or something like that. A Taylor Swift pinball machine, I think, would be awesome. But the demographic that is into that theme may not be the right one to afford one of these expensive machines. And that's just business, I suppose.
He'll continue with the business of retro balls, bells, and whistles for now, while also fixing old jukeboxes and slot machines as they appear. And should a time come for his business to disappear, let's hope it goes as smoothly as this.
Alexa, turn off all games.
In Georgetown, I'm D Glazebrook for Halton News.